Uh, I think I've got everything set up properly. I was just in the settings menu a little bit ago. This is the last character I beat the game with. I don't know what it is about the filter on this, but like he looks tan as shit. When we're in the main menu here. So we gotta go to a new character here. Like I say, oh, I had a hard ass time setting up the window here. I guess it's using like a super exclusive full screen mode. So I actually do have to play this one windowed if I want to get captured at all. By the way, speaking of which, let me just set up my chat overlay. There we go. Uh, yeah, I've got like a ton to say about this, but I think since the first episode, I should probably get us acquainted with the game first. So I'm just gonna start. Um, we. Is that really all they do? They don't just send you in? Alright. So the plan was to do an evil character, not necessarily because I want to be evil, but because of like collectibles completion purposes. We're not. So the goal isn't to be evil. The goal is to get as much done as possible. Which just happens to be easier, if not only possible, if you make some bad choices. Oh, by the way, I have my controller plugged in. I was using the keyboard. I don't normally play with controller, but I felt like I'd give it a shot. So we're playing the Anniversary Edition, which is a remaster. The menu is all completely different. I really liked what they've done with it. Like, even look at what that mouse, it, like, glides over the book. That's so cool. You saw that shot in the menu. That, it changes based on areas that you discovered in the game. Obviously, I've beaten this before, so, achievements, which come out of stamps. A lot of these are kind of clever, and some of them are just like stupid easy to get. Like some even have multiple ways to get them. And one's massively easier than the other. I didn't do everything, but I did a lot of harder stuff. Even this one. uh, anyways. We are, going to new game, I guess. Yeah. I'm still using the mouse impulsively. The first time I ever played this was on a computer. My mom bought it for my brother because he looked kind of like the kid on the box. And this is not a kid's game, but it's one of the best RPGs of its time. This is normal mode, and I still probably recommend playing on normal difficulty, because I have gone through this, which is how I got the Great Balls of Fire achievement, and essentially, all the resurrection files, which, like, auto-revive you, they're pretty rare and expensive, but they auto-revive you when you die. Those are out, they're replaced with mundane items, usually not even health potions, which is kind of annoying. I think everything was made more expensive, and basically all the enemies were replaced with their hardest variations, and some of them even got buffs, which is a bit annoying when you start, but overall it makes getting experience points easier because of how the experience system works. I'll go into more detail on that. And, I don't know. I don't see a lot of point in doing it. So I'm a little torn here. On one hand, I want that grind to be easier. On the other hand, this is just kind of a hassle. Because we're going to end up at about the same difficulty by the end of the game anyways. It's just a matter of how much you want to fucking bash your head against a brick wall. Yeah, I think I'll go with normal. Give us the authentic experience. Alright, so first thing you'll notice is like the shape of this continent. It's called Albion. Or, I'll shut up for a second. Cutscene play.
Deep in the forest of Albion lay the small town of Oakvale, unchanged by time and untouched by the sword. Here lived a boy and his family, a boy dreaming of greatness, of one day being a hero. Sometimes he imagined himself as a noble knight or a powerful wizard. And other times he dreamt he'd be an evil warrior. But in all his dreams of greatness, he could not possibly imagine the power of the destiny that lay before him.
Come on, wake up. Daydreaming again, were you? Just like your mother, mind always wandering. Well, let it wander off to find your sister, will you? She's out playing by the Barrowfields gate. Remember, you haven't given her a birthday present yet. Don't tell me you forgot to get her one. Well, I'm not bailing you out this time, son. I tell you what, I'll give you a gold piece for each good deed you do around Oakvale. That should be enough to buy her a present. Now, get moving and stay out of trouble.
Okay, so first things first, I think it's using the computer controls. Hold on. Yeah, it's recognizing my controller. Maybe it's not an X input mode. This controller switches modes. I don't know if I ever talked about that. So I can use it as a PlayStation controller if I wanted, which is on the direct input method. Also, I don't know if you even saw the Xbox overlay come up. That is not my account. I don't know what my Xbox account was. Like, my dad made it for me. And my brother screwed up his first name with something really stupid. And, yeah, he ended up just making a different Xbox account using my email. So it's really all kinds of fucked up. Keyboard and mouse, that's probably what's up. So, another thing that, God, I'm already going on tangents. So this is a new control scheme inspired by Fable 2 and 3. It's a lot more smooth and, like, better for the controller. It makes stuff like using the magic easier. But it kind of doesn't... With the way range combat works in this game, it doesn't work out super well unless you're just using hip fire. And also, the melee weapon automatically makes you pull out your stick, which can ruin certain boasts if you're trying to do a mission unarmed. So it kind of breaks things in that respect. And this one is how it was on the original Xbox, which is not where I played it, but I do own the Xbox edition. So, if that switched over, this should work out, right? I have no idea. I have to hold the home button for like 10 seconds to get switch up modes. Alright, looks like I got it all working. Sweet. So, I was gonna say, the kids always looked kind of ugly. This is like a unique character model, which sort of uses the actual character's head and puts a unique hairstyle on it. So, like, you can kind of see a seam around his neck because of that. I don't know, he looks better in some respects. Yeah, there's a real clear seam right there. It looks better in some respects, but his head just kind of looks like big and long. Silly. There's also like a filter over the game that some people absolutely hate. I don't mind it. There is a mod to remove it. And for the most part, everything looks better. There's some textures that still look eh. Like some of these doors, they're not as high quality as everything else. Alright, this is another one of those games that has a lot of books. I'm gonna do my best to read what I can, but there will be parts where I'm picking up a lot of books. I'm probably not gonna read them all at once. These books belong to your parents. They don't look interesting. Of course not. Ain't no porn in there. Blankets. Sister's diary. Harvest Day 15. Mother is away again. She'll never tell us where. I think Father is a little sad when she goes. I had a nightmare again last night. There's a big room, right in the middle. There was a big swooshing light that feels like it's going to suck me in. Didn't see what was in the middle of it. I don't think I ever want to. I had another dream. I was opening birthday presents, and I was so happy. There's something happened. It was so horrible, it woke me up. I think that part was only a dream, though. It's my birthday today. I bet brother forgets again, but at least mother will be back. I got up early to look over the sea, and I'm going to play on top of the field. Right. You'll notice I didn't get to pick my gender. For whatever reason, they didn't think to let you, choose it, even in the remake. So, you're just stuck with the boy, even though you have a sister. I guess that would break the canon, but I don't know, it would have been easy to just let you play Teresa. Father Brahm, a unique character model that you'll never see again. Chickens, you can kick them. Kind of the best thing ever. What was I going to say at the beginning? Right, the shape of the continent. It's called Albion, which if you don't know is the magical name for the British Isles. So this whole world is kind of like hyper-Britain. I'll go talk to them.
What? I was just, I've never even met this woman. Who is she?
Kissing a woman you never met? Nice, bro. High five.
Keep your mouth shut about this, right? My wife's at home with our little ones, and I'm supposed to be working. But a man should be entitled to do what he likes, don't you think? Tell you what, if you keep this little secret, I'll give you a gold piece.
1 gold piece? Man, I can put that right in my butt.
Good lad. Here, have this gold piece. My advice to you, don't get tied down to one woman. Look after yourself. Forget everyone else.
It said beware, gossip travels fast. It's kind of ridiculous, but like everybody knows that I just did that already. And, see, you're supposed to be pretty tight for money. Like, you have to do everything around the town to get the money to buy, your sister a birthday present. Because, yeah, you did forget. It's almost like she's psychic. But you can actually go tell his wife, even after taking that money, and, get the most out of it. It kind of neutralizes your karma, which, yeah, I don't care. I'll take that extra gold piece.
Right.
You what?
You little ruffian.
Guy looks like Toll Biscuit. Rest in peace.
I've heard reports that you've been doing bad deeds. Accessory to improper man and lady behavior. That sort of behavior is not acceptable. If you were older, you'd be apprehended and fined by the town guards. You need to decide if behaving like that is worth it, my young friend. I'll leave it at that for now. But think about what I've said.
What you think about this, old man?
What places do you think you're doing? I'm a town guard. I'm not the sort you want to be hitting, unless you want to spend a night in the barracks.
Can I steal a sword?
Now, get out of my sight.
Bro, I drew so much blood. That was ridiculous looking. I think this is his wife, so we're gonna turn him in.
Filthy layabout husband of mine. With some woman, I don't doubt. I run his house, bring up his children, and what do I get in return? Nothing. If you find him, let me know, won't you?
Alright, I'll let you know. He's down there with the woman from down the lane. Yeah.
You have? Right. I'm gonna turn him into balverine food. Thank you, young sir, for telling me.
Right, so now I got that coin. If I talk to Father Brahm, it's will B to run. It's also the dodge button, I think. Maybe.
You filthy swine! I ought to chop them right off!
We weren't doing anything, honest.
Don't insult me anymore! My mother was right about you!
You know I only have eyes for you, my sweet.
Well, if you think I'm going to cook and clean for you while you're out having a good time with your strumpet, you've got another thing coming!
We weren't doing anything, honest.
Who is she anyway? Some tart from the village? Younger than me, is she?
You know I only have eyes for you, my sweet.
You filthy swine!
Right, it loops.
Chop them right off. Don't insult me anymore.
You see the dialogue's all very exaggerated. For the most part, the voice acting is actually pretty good for the time. I don't think they redid any of it. Or, technically they did for one of the antagonists, the Jack of Blades. He used to just sound like a normal British dude. Bit of a creep, but they they made him sound evil by applying a voice filter, which I liked a lot more. They did that back when they re-released it as Lost Chapters and more DLC. I actually thought it was weird when I tried the Xbox version and saw his poopy voice. Anyway, Brahm's over here, I should talk to him, get that coin. Probably gonna yell at me too, but still gonna get my money.
I'm a man of my word, so here's the gold for your good deeds. But if you think that I'll turn a blind eye to your mischief, you're very wrong. Look, try to keep out of trouble, please. So, have you got enough money for a gift for Teresa?
I think it's 3 coins I need, or some 5. Right, so the name of the game is Fable, and I didn't understand why for the longest time. The story is more of like a, I don't know, an epic, heroic epic. It's not much of a fable, you don't learn any lessons or whatever. But it's actually because the world is sort of loosely based on fairy tales and fables. You'll see it integrated into the lore. Now, you know, I've been out of elementary school for a long time now, so I'm not really up to date on all of them, but you know, if you notice anything, I'd love to hear it. One of the most obvious things that you won't know until a bit later, but your mother, her name is Scarlet Robe, and she's a Balverine Slayer, which are sort of like werewolves. A Scarlet Robe can be reinterpreted as Red Hood, Little Red Riding Hood, Werewolf Slayer. She got married to a woodsman, who, you know, the woodsman saved her from the big bad wolf, cut him open, filled him with stones, dropped him in the lake. Kind of brutal.
Stupid little idiots.
So we got Hyper Britain and fairy tales, and it makes for a pretty charming world. And you never know what to take seriously at some points, but I don't know, you just roll with it.
What are you playing with? What do you want? I'm just dealing with this brat. He was irritating me, playing with my sister and her stupid teddy bear. No, he won't give it to me, just because I said I'd rip his stupid head off. I told him, if he doesn't do what I say, I'm gonna make his life a misery.
Hey, get. Give him that teddy bear.
Get him off me! Please help! He goes around the town beating up anyone smaller than him.
That's how you do. You gotta live it up while you can.
But you look strong. I bet you could scare him off for good.
Oh, you're right about one thing. I am strong, old boy. Boys don't need to play with dolls. Look at that punch. That's a straight.
Oh no! First this boy was being nasty to me, and now you're hitting me too. Me and Emily just wanted to play with Rosie. I don't know what I've done. Someone tell me what I've done. Just take Rosie if it means you'll leave me alone.
Right, I also forgot to mention, like, the art style. The characters are realistic, but they're also kind of, like, disproportioned. Like, their heads are all big.
Why are you playing with baby
And,
toys
like,
little girls?
when you wear gloves, they're also massive, which I love. Dishonored kind of does the same thing, with bigger hands and feet.
Get
Beat up this little puss a little more.
Yeah, that hits it.
This game, you know, I had a budget for the time, but still a small budget. It wasn't AAA by any means, even though it was first party. Like, they didn't sink several millions into this.
Yeah, that's it. Hit him.
So you'll notice that a lot of people use like recycled sound files. Like if a kid cheers, they're gonna use the adult cheering sound. Anyways, the reason I'm racking up my karma is to show one of the main features of the game.
Now I'll give you half his pocket money if you let me have her.
Good thing. Nice chain though, bro. Gang.
You and I got a lot in common. Here, take his money as a reward for returning her to me. Now, Rosie, what game shall we play? Huh? Teddy No Legs? What about Burning Fur?
See, when I first started playing this, my brother had a friend who also really loved this game. His name was like Jake. I always thought he looked just like this fucking kid. A little goon.
Have you cleaned my mum's car for me yet?
Anyways, he'll know. I don't think I have enough karma yet, but your character will actually like start to stand with his chest puffed out once you've got enough bad karma to make him look like a bully. Now, you're not a kid for very long, but you know, it's a feature of the game.
What?
Character morphs based on the way you level your character, how often you get hit, what weapons you use, and how often. It'll all determine like the various morphs for your character. So pretty much every time you play, you should end up with a completely unique looking guy. Which I think is awesome.
Thank goodness. Listen, lad, could you do me a favour? I've got to, you know, answer a call of nature. Oh, stay here and watch this stock for me. There's a good lad. Just stand between those two stacks and don't move. I'll put a good word in for you when I get back. Right, won't be long.
My cousin says that the barrels in these warehouses might have stuff in them.
Little Bobby Hill looking kid's a real piece of shit. I love him.
Quick, while he's away, smash his barrels up and see what's inside. Unless you're too scared. Unless you're just a big blubbing girl. Come on, let's go and break stuff.
Gotta hear that iconic line.
Lemon?
There we go.
Being good is so boring.
There's the sweet little girl whose teddy bear I gave away. Stay in school, girl. Now, you'll notice that as soon as you leave the correct area, the timer starts to go down real quick. The guy, like, knows shit's going down, so he pulls his pants up real quick, I guess. There's a beetle. You can actually get early experience point. Doesn't mean much, though. I think if you're fast enough, you can actually return to your post and still get your points. They might be smart enough to still notice that the barrels got destroyed, but I don't know.
A fat lot of good you were. Now my stock is damaged. And to think I trusted you with it. If I find out it was you, well, you better hope I don't.
Me, though. Point and laugh, you little bastard. Careful with those massive gloves you got, kid. You have, like, such a poor boy looking outfit. I think it's just because you're a farmer, but you got, like, sandals, massive patched gloves, all your clothes are falling apart.
He's changing today, and I can't find her. Please help. She's a lovely little furry bear with a blue patch on her back.
I think originally she had pigtails. Now she's got a ponytail. She also wore a blue dress, too. This one's green. Maybe it's random, because I know her character changes. Not the child one. You meet her again as an adult. And, you know, she can be any different character model. So maybe they're related.
I'm going after him. What? You again? I'm hearing of your mischief rather regularly. Shall we remind ourselves? Destruction of a person's vendibles. Dereliction of sentry duty, despite having been asked nicely. Violent conduct towards a person or persons without guard's permission. Giving of a teddy bear to a person likely to rip off its head. Accessory to improper man and lady behaviour. Do you realise the trouble you'd be in if you weren't such a little un? Now go, and keep yourself out of trouble.
All this small-time shit. Must have been nice to be a freaking guardsman. Like 10 people in the village, so you know all the little things that reprimand a kid for this. I think that's everything we can do.
Hello, lad. I'm a trader. I wander the world buying and selling wares, especially to fine folk like your good self.
All traders have that mustache. That's kind of how you can tell them apart. It's actually called the trader mustache, and it looks pretty damn funny.
Some little girl I saw said you have a sister, and it's her birthday. And it seems you haven't got her a present yet. It just so
No present, bro.
a nice box of sweets here. Guaranteed to put a smile on any sister's face for only 3 gold pieces.
Looks like Elmer Fudd.
Young sir, they are yours. Wish your sister a happy birthday from me now, won't you?
Alright, I still got 1 coin.
Many lovely things.
Alright, so... I guess I can explain the morphs once we get to the skill tree. Because that has the biggest influence on it, but I will talk about scarring, I guess. So, I believe there's a small chance to get a scar just whenever you get hit and take health damage. But you mainly only get them when you die, and when you're in hero mode, or whatever it was called, that chance to get them when you're hit is increased massively, so your character kind of ends up covered in scars, and it's kind of ridiculous. In Fable 2 and 3, you can't really die. Like, they took out the resurrection files. I think you can still die in 2, actually, but no resurrection files, so... Every time you fall in battle, you do get a scar on those, and that's kind of like the only punishment for death. Not a fan of that, but decided to mention it.
Little brother, I hope you haven't forgotten what day it is, like you did last year. I'm sorry if I woke you up last night. It was another of those dreams. I was standing in this field when something happened, but I can't remember what. Never mind that, though. I'm still waiting for my present.
Got doll hair.
I knew you were going to bring me chocolates. It's just like my dream. Come on, let's go home. Mother will be back for my party any minute now.
It gets combed over so many different ways, like... Where is her hairline? I don't know.
Wait, there's something wrong.
Bandits!
Bodied.
What's happening? They're here. You've got to hide.
See, they just use one sound file, the crowd yelling, instead of each one individually doing it.
Got one.
It's really the audio department where the quality fell through the most. Probably would have did them good to update it some, but they didn't.
Evil had come to Oakvale. Bandits wielding torches and steel, slaying and burning all in their path. Blood-red flames lit the night as the villagers screamed and begged for mercy, and soon their bodies filled the streets. Then the raiders reached the last house, where the boy and his family lived. It was them they had slaughtered so many to find. The father fought to protect his kin, but he was no warrior, and fell mortally wounded. The bandits ripped the house apart, but could not find the boy. Through torture and threats, his mother and sister remained silent, and their furious attackers took them both. From the nearby woods, the boy watched as all he knew was taken away. His whole life was crushed to ashes.
Right,
He
so
was alone.
you see all the shots in that cutscene were just on the painting. It kind of jumps around on like a comic book page. Yeah, the Guildmaster's voice acting's great, and every time I hear his voice, I get a little tear in my eye. It's so iconic to me. Let's see, all those paintings are actually in an area in the game. You can go look at them whenever you want. And, if you looked closely, you could have saw some of the antagonists of the game that you'll run into later. Like, all the information is there, you just don't know how to interpret it quite yet. Which I think is really cool. That's a battle cry.
We must leave. It's not safe here. They're all dead. You don't want to join them, do you? Then give me your hand.
Alright, Maze has one of the coolest looking outfits in the game, but the thing I'm going to talk about now are those blue lines all over them. I always thought that you could get them if you're a pure mage, but I don't like using mana potions, so I've never been a pure mage. But, yeah, you do in fact get blue lines on you if you invest in magic early
You
on.
have a stronger stomach than that. Come on. Save your energy, boy. It's not me you want to fight. You might not realize it, but I just saved your life. There's nothing left for you in Oakvale. And if you'd stayed, you'd be as dead as the rest of them. Come with me. My name is Maze, and I'm the head of the Guild of Heroes. You must
Maze.
have heard of it. You'll find nowhere safer in all of Albion, nor a better place to call your home. And
Name's
if it's
Korn.
vengeance you want, you'll need the training only we can offer. Here we are. I'll introduce you to the Guildmaster. He'll be your guide from now on. I have a new student for you. Put him in the dorm upstairs with the girl.
You don't look much like hero material to me, but Maze knows what he's doing, I suppose. Well, follow me then. You'll be sharing this room with Whisper, one of our brightest young pupils. She's playing in the woods right now, but you'll meet her in the morning.
The
Right
dad
now, she's fallen
stash.
asleep. Your training starts tomorrow.
It's time to wake up. You must be my roommate. Shorter than I expected. My name's Whisper. I've been here for a month. Had the room to myself till now, too. But that's all right. You know you talk in your sleep. Sounded like a bad nightmare. Happens to a lot the first week. Some don't even last that long. You won't either if you don't get moving. The Guildmaster is waiting for us in the map room. You don't want to be late on your first day. Follow me. Looks like the Guildmaster got tired of waiting for you. He's probably at the training grounds across the river. Let's go! What are you talking...
Okay, so I think originally this carpet was just plain red. None of those embroidery was on it. You'll notice Whisper is black/African. This game does have some tokenism. There are like 2 black characters ever. And some people think that it's wrong. But I think that it's more true to life, I guess. Like, transportation wasn't exactly easy. People from Africa wouldn't have just went up to England, no problem. But also, this was an older time. There weren't women and people of all colors. There were just, like, scrawny white nerd dudes making video games. So, they write white characters, they write male characters. And that's still kind of an issue today. I think even George R.R. Martin went on record saying all his characters are white because he's not black. And, yeah, that's true. You can even write a believable black person if you don't understand the culture like they do. I don't think you can. And when you find women characters written by men, they're usually like generic damsel in distress / perfect waifu person. Because they were written by a man. So I think everyone should just stick to their strong suit. Anyways, Whisper has a brother. He's a big man named Thunder. For the longest time, he's sort of like our role model, I guess. He's who we're supposed to be trying to become. Even though he's a bit of a jerk. Well, he's the only other black person in the game. Going around collecting these books now, so I don't have to do it later. There's a handful of them in this library. One of the biggest libraries in the game, actually. See, my face doesn't really contort into a smile very well, but as soon as we arrived here and I heard the choir, I smiled just a little bit. The music's all iconic. The Heroes Guild concept itself is really good, I think. I think all these shelves actually restock when you're an adult, so you can maybe sell these books for money.
The main meals are served. The melee ring is outside, across the bridge. The library. You can learn a lot from the books here.
Hey, I really like the idea because rather than going to towns and looking for a bounty board, picking up small-time stuff, everyone goes through the bureaucracy, and the big-time jobs go to big-time people. They come to you because they recognize that you're someone with immense power. You don't have to go and bust in the house and say, hey, do you need help with anything? Missing any goats? Is there a demon in a nearby dungeon, perhaps? Like you do in normal fantasy games.
This is the guild shop. When you're older, you can buy stuff here.
Oh hey, I can fart. Nice.
I like this part of the guild. The cloisters are so quiet.
So to express your character, this game has like a crazy amount of emotions.
I wonder who's in there.
Or
I'm going to
emotes.
be buried here when
Like an MMO would.
if I don't make it
And
home.
I don't think there was ever plans for multiplayer, but they did want this to be like a very lifelike thing. And in some ways, for the time, it absolutely was. In other ways, it sort of fell flat. Because, like, there's no reason to ever use these, or if you're talking to someone, you can spam one emote to get the job done. They're still a fun system. I think they expanded on them, made them a lot better in the next two games. Fable 2 specifically, but we'll save that for another time, because we're about to go into a cutscene.
Best stay away though. He's a scary man.
You can see those green dots on the minimap, that's how I knew to come here. This is actually added by the DLC.
The journey's length is of no consequence. The Oracle must be protected.
How can you be so sure? We might need you here. Who knows what battles we might face?
The signs are too strong to ignore, and the Northern Wastes have been too long isolated from the Guild. There is much I may learn there.
Well, I hope nobody thinks you're running away from a fight, trying to cheat death again. You know how people talk.
Talk is of no matter to me. May death close his eyes to you, Maze.
What are you waiting for? Come in. That was Scythe. He was a great hero once, back when he had flesh on his bones and blood in his veins. He's just a shell now. What does he know of the choices we have to make, of what it takes to get things done?
Oh, he explained it. That was Scythe, and he is in fact a walking corpse. He's a mage. Now he used that to give himself a sort of immortality. His eyes are kind of like red, so you can assume he's been dabbling in some forbidden magics, but we won't really hear of him till the end of the game, I think. He was added by the DLC, so he's not really there until you actually get ready to do that. I keep saying DLC like it's just optional content. No, it's a full-on expansion to the game, because this was a time when that was a thing that happened. Back when you'd go to GameStop and buy another disc. Didn't happen super often, though, because, like, online wasn't exactly a big part of game consoles yet. The only two games I can really think of that did it were this and Morrowind. Kind of the only action RPGs available at the time. There were a few others, but they're all varying degrees of full freedom RPG. And I hesitate to even call Morrowind an action game, because it's all dice rolls. It's more like a classic RPG.
Yeah, well, if it wasn't for my injured leg, I'd
No
beat that
chance.
time.
I'm the fast. We're discussing whether I'm the fastest apprentice in this guild. I ran to the demon door and back in 50 seconds. Beat that. Right then. Get to the demon door and back and talk to me in 50 seconds.
You're the most arrogant, that's for sure.
Right, so this is always, like, very on the dot. I actually exploited it by talking to him from a distance when I was younger. I think they might have expanded the time just a little bit. Maybe. But you really have to min-max your path here. You have to talk to the demon door to get the trigger. If you don't do that, it doesn't work out. Shit. I think I just fucked up. I did.
Your own?
Oh boy. Oh boy. I don't know what's going on with the camera, but you know, I already lost, so why don't I try and figure out what the hell happened here? There we go. There's the stick I was using. Shit. Alright, we can reattempt it. I think we just get some money and bragging rights. Notice that the water looks really pretty. I think that's been a big thing for the year this came out, which is like 2017, I think. Around the same time Skyrim Special Edition released, they finally decided water should look good.
I'm the fastest! You again? Right.
Like, you'll see that water looks like it has a flow to it rather than just being a texture that gets cut off by the land. Because that's what it was at the time. It doesn't quite have the foam effect around the edges, but, you know, it's clean lake water. It shouldn't really have that.
Your poem?
Yes, I am. That's
Right. I spammed A a little too much as I was trying to get the time. You see, this bastard was bragging.
big deal. Running's for idiots anyway.
Big deal. Yeah. One of those people.
That showed you, didn't it?
Right, so the Demon Door, I didn't talk about those. Those are remnants from the Old Kingdom, which I'll explain a bit later, I guess, but essentially they're doors with souls in them, and you have to, like, solve a riddle or do a challenge, and then they'll open up and they'll give you a unique item. Some of them are kind of lame. There's, like, potions to increase your max health or mana, and sometimes they're unique weapons or unique outfits, which is always cool. Also, these apples, these are for another optional activity. I'm gonna collect a few of them. This whole kid section of the guild is actually a little pointless, because you don't learn how to do half the stuff in the game until you're a teenager. It's just like baby's first combat tutorial before you learn how to actually fight.
Listen.
Wants a couple apples. I only collected 2 of them.
At the end of the week. But I can't find any more red apples. I only need another 4. If you find enough, can you bring them back here? I'll reward you.
Alright. I gotta find 2 more. Right, so in Fable 3, they decided to give your character a voice and a personality, which did change a little based on your actions, but I was never sure how I felt about it. Like, this character has a voice, he just doesn't use it unless you're emoting. I always thought it was kind of weird.
This is where the archers train.
I don't know, there's a real line with it, I guess. I don't mind when they give you guys a voice, but if he's gonna be silent, I wish he stayed silent the whole time.
To the Guild Woods. I heard giant beetles live there.
Your character actually sounds a little bit like Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow when he talks. Which I loved Pirates of the Caribbean at the time, so I liked it.
Have you found those apples for me yet? Thanks. Thank you so much. The guildmaster will get his pie. Here, have this.
See, I've only watched like the first 3 movies. I don't think I even heard about the other ones ever coming out. I just know that there's like 5 or 6 of them now. I think that the quality of them has dropped, though I haven't watched them. I think people who are invested in it still enjoy it. I will say that apparently Johnny Depp, like, ruined Captain Jack's character. Like, in the books, he's actually a real badass. He's only flamboyant and goofy because that's how Johnny Depp is.
You've finally prized yourself from your pillow, I see.
Yes, a whole day later.
Let's see what you're capable. All right, lad. It's time to see if you've any potential. Get in the ring. Now then, I want you to hit that dummy as hard as you can. Just keep going till I tell you to stop.
Punch him with my Mega Fist. Boom, 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 pump. 7. I can't really see that part of my HUD because of my chat box.
Here, try with this.
I have its opacity set to like 80%, so I can make it out, but I don't. My eyes naturally drawn away from it because it's dark. I now have the stick. This is like the basic weapon. Even though you can attack unarmed, stick does slightly more damage. And fun. I was talking about with the Fable 2 and 3 control scheme that you can use, but pressing X will use your melee attacks and you'll automatically draw your weapon, which ruins bows. There is one quest in the game where it lets you take the unarmed boast, but you still take out your stick at the end of the mission regardless, which breaks it. It always pissed me off.
An enemy like this dummy, it drops an experience orb. These orbs contain the knowledge gained from killing the creature. It's very important that you collect these orbs, or you won't learn anything. Now pick it up. Well done, lad. Now then, tomorrow we'll... That's the guild alarm. Sounds like there might be something loose in the woods. This is a good opportunity to test your spirit. I'll wait for you at the guild woods entrance while you deal with the problem. Once you're done, we can talk about starting your training.
Beetles. We could kill him with our stick, but, you know, we already one-hit him with our fist. No big deal. I didn't talk about the experience orbs, though. When you kill enemies, they drop the green orbs, which are general experience. And you can use that to invest in anything. But you also gain experience just from hitting stuff with whatever weapon. And, in Fable 2, they expanded it so all the types of orbs drop, and it kind of makes the game lag, but it's also really satisfying to see all the colored orbs. Fable 2 doesn't run very well at all on the Xbox 360, which is saddening because that's the only console where you can play it. But I always enjoyed seeing the experience fall, even if it's not all the colors. You will see that little X right there. That's called the combat multiplier. Goes up when you do damage and goes down when you get hit. And it's only when you get hit. If you block or you get hit with a spell shield on, it won't go down. But the multiplier, so it multiplies the experience you get from the hitting stuff, and also when you pick up the XP orbs. So moving through areas fast, the sort of min-max that is pretty important for grinding purposes. There are also potions you can drink to get experience points, which you'd want to drink when you have a high multiplier. That little ripple there is called a fishing spot. I think you can technically fish anywhere for fish, obviously, but fishing spots usually have treasure in them. But you should always keep your eye out for them.
Good work, lad. Those beetles can be a damn nuisance. Here, I think you've earned yourself some pocket money for that. If you want more gold, I'm sure the servants could use your help with something. Or you can get an early night. Come and see. You look tired after killing those beetles.
I think we actually are going right to bed. I just wanted to see if there's anything else to do. So you will notice that you're kind of glued to the ground. You can't jump or anything because you don't really need to. Fable 2 kind of expanded on that. Like, you're still absolutely glued to the ground in that game, but you can jump over walls, which is nice. And you can also swim. Which is why I brought this up. Those little ripples become diving spots instead of fishing. They take fishing out completely. Because the minigame's not very good for it, but... I don't know, the swimming was cool. It's just kind of slow, and areas that are heavy on swimming are kind of annoying in that game. Obviously, I can't play the others, which is why I'm going to kind of talk about all of them at some point, because they took Fable 3 off PC. Allegedly, they were trying to remake it, but then Lionhead got liquidated. It was sold on Steam at one point. I think I actually have a key from Humble Bundle that I can't redeem anymore. And 2 is nowhere to be seen, even though it's arguably the best game. Don't have nearly as much nostalgia for it as this, but it's a better game. Okay, I guess I walked all the way back to here for nothing. I have to talk to the Guildmaster to go to sleep. I have 46 gold, though. I'm fucking loaded. Chocolate costs, what was it, 3 coins? 4 coins? I can buy so much chocolate. And I have a pie. This kid's living big. Bigger than his gloves.
You look tired after killing your training. The guild was now the boy's life. The memory of the Oakvale flames still scorched his mind, but soon he had no thought other than training, and he became stronger and more agile every passing year. His days were filled with grueling exercises, the nights with study in the library. Finally, he was ready to become a guild apprentice, just as Maze had foreseen. The real training was about to begin.
Maze looks a lot cooler with the scruffy hair than his melted clay look that he
We
has.
were supposed to meet the guildmaster on the other side of the river, but that was an hour ago. We better get going. Race you there.
Oh, another thing, I think Whisper originally just had the full hood on. Like, she didn't have the dreadlocks before. I think she looks better with them. Right, you also notice the character. You see, the head's still kind of the same. The hairdo changed. This is actually your adult body. You're still a little smaller than you are when you're fully grown and ready to go out into the world.
I don't know how he did it. I always win guild competitions.
I guess there's a sort of realism to it. Like, I don't think your head ever grows. It's actually the heaviest part of a baby. And the skull is split into so many bones because it breaks on the way out, because it's so big. Like, it's normal human head sized.
Late again? You do seem to have a problem getting up, lad.
Beat Whisper, though.
You can put that old stick away. Begin training with real weapons now. Get used to the weight of this sword, and let's see if you can hit Whisper with it.
Wow. My dream. See, I either didn't get the achievement before, or it's logging the achievements for this character separately. Which is nice. That's one of the benefits of in-game achievements. Rather than over a network. Not only are they easier to implement, but you know, you can get them again if you chose to.
Now pay attention. what I'm about to teach you could well save your life one day. The life of a hero is a dangerous one, and you must learn to block your enemy's attacks if you expect to live long. Whisper will try to hit you, but you can block her attacks with your sword. Not all blows can be blocked, but you should be able to handle anything Whisper can throw at you.
You'll notice that Gerard the Completionist, he's always replaying games on different consoles. I think that the achievements are part of the reason why.
Hit you next time.
Even if the version that he plays ends up being inferior to the one he originally did.
Well done. Now let's see if you can combine attack and...
There's Thunder. His unique armor looks dope as shit.
Hello, Thunder. Come to check on your sister's progress, have you?
You could say that. Whisper told me you've got her training with some farm boy.
Maze thinks the boy has great potential.
Enough to keep up with my Whisper. Ha!
Well, why don't we see? Whisper and the boy are just working on their melee skills now. All right, children.
I think his voice got redid because it was a little racist before.
This will be a no-holds-barred duel, just like your final melee test. Prepare yourselves.
He sounded, like a bit more of a Zimbabwe accent. I'm not gonna attempt to do it because, yeah, it was a little racist, but I don't know. I think he sounds less black now. Exaggerated accents are a big part of the game, so, like, I wish they left it in.
That's all wrong, Whisper. You need to practice more. Shame you couldn't see me fight in the arena. You might have learned a thing or two.
It's still kinda there.
If you want to go there yourself one day.
I could have beaten him if you hadn't stopped us.
We have few enough heroes as it is, without the two of you tearing each other apart in training. Speaking of which, meet me as I make my way to the archery range, when you're ready to continue your lessons. Oh, and about your melee performance. Excellent. Fight like that in your melee exam and you'll do well.
And,
Then meet me by the archery range to continue your training.
when you're using the keyboard controls, you use left and right click to confirm that, and I would always screw up and end up redoing the combat training. I completely forgot to mention what the purple glow was on the sword. That's called the flourish. Essentially, when your attack gets blocked, or when you do a 3-hit combo, or something like that. I don't know the entire workings of it. It'll glow, which enables you to press B for like a power attack, which usually knocks the enemy down, but it always breaks through a guard. That's its main purpose. There goes who we're waiting for, Mr. Black Hood. He's the master instructor. He can get us a stronger weapon if we pass the test.
Any apprentices want to prep right.
This is the easiest test to pass. You just fight Whisper again.
Right, let's get Whisper and you in the ring. Same rules as before. I have a special prize for you if you manage an A+.
Oh! Oh! I might have screwed up. I don't know if getting hit really affects you. You really just have to win.
Alright, you can stop now. That was very impressive. Whisper should be ashamed. A+. That grade means I can award you a new weapon.
Got you the katana, which is a really thick katana. It's a little stronger, but I think I'm going to stick with the longsword for now. All the weapons are mostly for fashion. They have slightly different attack speeds, based on a weight parameter, I think. And longswords are the lightest, so they're faster. Which, I'll explain why I want to keep the longsword later then, I guess. Once we're ready to pick our builds. And, right, so some weapons don't have blades on them, such as axes, maces, and cleavers. Or, I guess it's the tip that matters. You won't be able to, like, finish off an enemy who you knock down to the ground without those, so kind of to your benefit to only use pointy weapons, even if they are a little stronger.
Are you ready for your archery training? Let's continue our training with the bow.
Bow. Archery's always felt pretty good in this game.
To begin with, see if you can hit the 3 stationary targets. And put some effort into it. The longer you pull back your bowstring, the more damage you will cause. But make sure you stay within the circle.
I always loved the way the bow looked. It's not just a normal hunting bow, it's
First, you'll need
got all kinds of curvature to it. This is like a Welsh longbow. There are crossbows in the game, but they're kind of poopy, because they fire super slow. And they take forever to reload. Basically no reason to use them. I think they pierce armor better, but
Well done! You hit all the targets. Unfortunately, most foes don't stand still. So let's see how you fare against moving targets. You have a minute to score as many points as you can. The front target is worth 1 point, the middle one is worth 3, and the one at the back will score you 9 points. And remember, the longer you pull back your bowstring, the more damage the shot will cause. More damage means more points, but you have to balance power, firing rate, and accuracy. Let's see what you can do. Come on, lad.
So to incentivize the balancing aspect of it, the points only go up to a certain range. Oh, I accidentally hit the back guy. So it really only benefits you to keep the string held to like the middle of the animation. Going all the way back doesn't do the most points, and it probably doesn't do the most damage either. You'll notice I'm firing super slow, because when the test comes around, I think all you have to do to get the A+ is to beat your score. So if you got a crazy high score, you kind of screwed yourself. By the way, B maybe?
Come on, lad. Get your bow out.
There's a way to go into aiming mode. Here we go. You have to click your left stick in. You can use this to get headshots, which actually kill enemies.
But try firing more powerful shots.
Like, you knock their heads off, and it's super cool. I think headshots are actually worth more points in this, too. You'll see they have a second target on their face.
Next, we will learn about the ways of the will. Speak to me when you're ready to continue with your training. I'll be heading to the island by the waterfalls.
So I'm mostly only collecting these extra weapons so I can sell them, because money is very tight early on. By the time you have the means to make all the money you ever want, you won't necessarily want to buy anything anymore. Because the game is pretty generous about giving you free stuff. At points in the game, if you want like the most powerful armor, you do have to buy it, but you know what I mean. Here's the instructor.
Archery grading! Now the guildmasters asked me to grade everyone's archery skills. And if you get an A+, you've got 1 minute.
Yeah, I think the way I was doing it before is actually the easiest way to do it. You just go for the middle target. So you're not exactly the most accurate. Yeah, okay, I'll do first person.
That was superb!
Said first person, this is more like Resident Evil over the shoulder than that. Should've just said aiming mode. Now, the back target is worth 9 points, like he said, so rather than going for powerful shots, you should sort of just spam and try to land hits on it if that's what you're going for. Trying to get 100 points. That's my goal.
Wow! You set a new high score! Wow, that's excellent!
Ah, bastard. I think it's maybe 120 I need, then. It's not just beating your score. First time I put that theory to the test. Now, these would all probably be equally easy to attack, even with the distance, if it weren't for these targets blocking the way. Which is kind of shitty, because, once again, you're glued to the ground, so areas are all very open, and they have parts where you can walk. Means there's not really anything like this blocking your shot.
Excellent power! Excellent power! Wow! You set a new high score! Wow! I ain't never seen any better than that! You got an A+! The Guildmaster said if anyone shot brilliant, I could award them this.
Alright.
That was some fancy shooting.
Again, it's just a crossbow. I've never really cared for them. There is one legendary crossbow in the game that's actually pretty powerful. That's maybe the only one I'd ever consider using.
There's just the will left to learn. It's time to learn about will powers. We'll begin by striking these strong dummies with lightning. All right, let's see what you've got.
Okay, so in the original computer version, what you do is hold the shift key, and then you'd scroll down through a list, and you could have one bound to your left button, and then one on your right button. So you'd sort of pair them up in a menu, and have one on the left, one on the right, and scroll down in pairs. And it wasn't super great. You see here we have I can bind them all to each of the face buttons when I hold right now, and I can also swap them out in a similar way. I think you hold the button to do so, but I need more spells first. Yeah, this is a lot more convenient, is all I was really getting at.
That's it. See how many you can hit in half a minute. Only attack dummies that are facing the center of the island. You won't get any points for hitting one on the back. You will only waste valuable mana. Using your will powers depletes your mana, and once used, it takes time to replenish.
Right. So the chain lightning is probably one of the easiest things to waste your mana with, because it damages in ticks, and once that tick goes, you kind of just keep spitting it out, but not doing damage. And in terms of direct damage spells, this is... you only really have like 2 options. There are a few others, but damage isn't their purpose. You have this and the Fireball. The Fireball does AoE damage and is overall more powerful, but you have to charge it up. This changes up to like 2 other targets, which is cool.
Well done.
Again, it's easy to waste your mana with it.
Very good, lad. You have learnt the 3 hero disciplines. We can now move on to your final test if you're ready. Or you can spend some more time exploring the guild. I believe Whisper is about to go into the guild woods, if you wish to join her. Very well. I'll be in the map.
Right, so there was actually a mod that completely rebalanced the game for the original version of Still Lost Chapters, which I believe is still sold on Steam. And it really helped diversify the spells, I feel. It did make the game just a bit too hard, kind of like the heroic mode in this, but yeah, it helped diversify the things, and one of the big things it did was make the lightning do a lot less damage, but chain up to a lot more guys, which made it pretty damn useful, if I do say so myself. It also made it tick more often to make up for the less damage it did, but it really gave me a reason to use Fireball over it.
You've got 30 seconds once you first cast lightning to hit as many targets as you can. There's a special prize for A+ students, you know.
I think he gives you a mana potion, which, I don't know, they're kind of expensive because there's only one kind of potion, so potions are always expensive. Shit. I'm sorry. You can only attack innocent people if you lock on, so I guess I lately tapped my left trigger.
That's astonishing. Bloody hell, A+. The Guildmaster said to award these items to anyone who excelled at the will test.
Oh, nice, a resurrection file.
I still haven't seen anyone perform better than you.
I've always thought the HUD looked really nice in these games. They redid it for this one, but like, your left thing, the Dark Souls HUD is what it looks like, but it used to just be a big guild seal, which you get when you graduate. It still kind of shows up, but it's not nearly as cool in my opinion. You'll see we have a number on our heart. That's the number of resurrection files you have. You can really burn through them if you're not careful.
You really showed Whisper.
Your mana regenerates, your health does not. One of the weird things about the health system, though, is if you're consuming a healing item, like food, which heals over time rather than all at once, I don't believe you're actually allowed to die. Kind of a bug. Kind of a feature. I think most people don't really eat their food.
Come on, let's hunt beetles. I'll follow you into the woods. The beetle nest is just at the top of the... Wait. Did you hear that? It's coming from over there. Bandits. If only we could get across that stream. I know. Why don't you use your bow? Or some of that lightning the Guildmaster taught you?
I think you can actually show up a headshot here. It all depends on the power of the shot, and whether or not you can do it. It has to be very close to killing to do it, but it's always been a very exaggerated animation like that. It flies up, spins around, he spurts blood out his neck, and I believe you can actually run up and kick his head, too. That might be something you can only do in Fable 2.
We did it!
We'll see.
Did you see the look on their faces? Wait till the Guildmaster hears about this.
I think there's actually like an invisible wall there, so I can't grab that experience, but I did get the bow experience. There's actually not any beetles up here because they forgot about that. I killed men today, though. Youngest guild apprentice to ever kill someone. Okay, so we're getting ready to be adults now. We're gonna take our final exam. Which, I don't know, we kind of just go through a mock battle, and we hit a guy a few times with each of our things. The quality of our combat doesn't really matter, we just have to hit him, because he's gonna block regardless. It's kind of a lame exam, honestly, but it ensures that you know how to cast your magic and stuff.
You won't be disappointed, sir.
The boy mastered the skills quickly, but there was always more to learn. For years, the guild was his home, his school, and his life. But as time passed, his thoughts returned always to the world outside. The life he had lost, the family that had been torn from him. At last, only the final day of tests remained. Success would mark the end of his training. He would receive the guild seal and be free to forge his own destiny. He would become a hero. Before you graduate, there is one final test you must complete. Enter the guild woods and go to the log at the top of the hill. The test will be revealed to you there. Good luck.
Whew, that was some fancy shooting.
Right. There is this one green dot here that I don't really care to do. There's a man in black hood who wants us to go shoot sparrows around the school. You can, I think you can see one right up there. They're kind of just hard to find. I think they were added in the Lost Chapters. You don't really get a reward for them. I think it's just a small amount of money, so it's kind of a waste of time. You also get bad karma for doing it, which what we're going for, I guess, but I'm not gonna waste my time with that one.
I suppose you're wondering how you pass the final test then. It's simple. You must defeat me, using all you've learned in your years of training. We'll begin with your sword. Hit me, if you can.
Oh, that's not fair, bro.
Attack me!
See, he blocks, but the counter still goes up, so there's no real reason to try here.
Fight me! Very good. Now, shoot me with your bow. Well done.
The arrows are so big.
Excellent. And finally, cast lightning at me. Come on.
See how slow it ticks?
That's enough. Yes, quite impressive for a novice. You will find real battles rather more fatal than this. But you have passed your final test, and you're ready to receive your guild seal from the guild master.
Boy, you're one ugly kid. Got so much chin, no cheek, big ass eyes.
Well, this is the day, lad. I remember the first night you came to us, and look at you now. Maze's faith in you was well placed. Now come along. The graduation ceremony will take place in the Chamber of Fate, the oldest part of the
That
guild.
planet up there. Ooh.
Let the apprentices approach. For many years now, you have worked hard to earn yourselves the title of hero. Today, that apprenticeship ends and you go out into the world to do great deeds. Deeds that will bring you the gratitude of thousands, or strike fear into their hearts. These are dark times. The shadows of Albion are stirring, and strange winds are blowing. Your choices, whether they lead you down the path of good or evil, will change the face of the world. Now, take your guild seals and venture forth as heroes. It's time for you to leave us, lad. But you're still very much part of the guild. On the map table, you will find details of any quests the people of Albion wish heroes to perform. And you'll need to return often to focus all your experience into new skills. Only by doing this regularly will you advance as a hero. Step into the light, and I'll show you how to do this.
So they gave you a whole new outfit. These are the villager clothes. You do still own your apprentice outfit if you so choose to wear it. I think they both had the same armor values, but the jeans and boots look way cooler. I do, however, want to change out the gloves, because the guild gloves had, like, armored plating on them, which is pretty fucking dope looking. See that?
Step into the light, and I'll show you how to do this. Okay,
so experience is split into 3 things. Strength, skill, and will. You see the image that kind of shows off what the character morph effect it has, in addition to, the description telling you what it actually does. You'll see this guy has a hairy chest. This was always a myth, and I've never actually gone through with going to it, because health upgrades are pretty important. But allegedly, if you upgrade only your health for the longest part of the game, you end up with the hairy chest. Definitely one of the hardest things to get. Now, there is a sword in the game that's basically like Excalibur. It's a sword in a stone. You gotta pull it out. And the trick to it is, from the first time you pull it, you have to advance all of your strength parameters by, like, 4 ranks. Or, if you are already above 4, then you have to max out your strength parameters. So, you can make it easier, you can make it hard. And this is the first time I'm going to do this, but I want to go for a more unique build than what I normally do. So, we're actually not going to level our strength stats at all to try and get that sword early on. And we're going to focus on our archery, I guess, and also magic. To make up for lack of melee combat, we're going to use the multi-strike, which is one of the most powerful abilities in the game. You hit a guy and it just keeps hitting him, essentially. And it kind of breaks the combat system in some respects, but I don't know, I've never used it before. It's also unblockable, which is pretty dope. And I believe you only have enough general experience to earn one thing. And I'm not sure what I want that one thing to be quite yet. Speed's pretty good for everything. Fire rate and swing speed. Accuracy is bow damage. It also decreases the jitter in the aim mode. And Guile is like thieving, which, a bit of a weird one, but even if you don't steal stuff, it gives you better prices, which is always good, because there is one very powerful weapon that's super expensive, and in Anniversary, I have all the DLCs for this, so there's a lot of unique outfits that we can buy. There's basically an alternate for each tier of armor, which adds a lot more variety to what we can wear, I guess. I think they're all slightly more powerful, but it doesn't really matter too much, because the toughness skill is natural armor, At max level, this is actually as strong as a suit of plate mail, which makes the doing quests naked boast doable. Anyways, I think I'll go with speed first, just because that's generally good. So you can also level up Guile. And I can't afford Fireball anymore, so I guess I'll do that.
There is little else for me to teach you, but I will always be around to offer you guidance. And your guild seal will allow me to communicate with you at all times. You will also notice it flashing when you have enough experience to spend. I have given you a basic pack of supplies. It'll be enough for a while. Now there's a whole world for you to explore.
So, the effects of the skill tree, like the literal skill tree, is they're a lot harder to notice, but for the most part, they just make you taller. And I think they maybe affect the leanness of your muscles, like how defined your muscles are. You can look flabby, or you can look actually ripped. So, I think most people go for leveling to strength stuff first because it has health and armor upgrades, which is just good to have. But if you do that, you actually end up with a sort of manlet. It's like a 5-foot kind of buff dude. Not super imposing. With the approach that we're going with, we're actually going to end up with a more normal looking person. Which is a good thing. We also have some money, so I might buy like a potion or something.
How may I help you today?
This is the guild shop, which is actually one of the better shops in the game. You weren't able to buy this originally, but you get Thunder's armor, which looks dope as shit. You can buy the guard outfit, which originally there was only one in the game, and it wasn't this color. There's now a colored outfit for each town's guards that you can buy here. You can buy Whisper's headband. It's technically cross-dressing, but it's just a headband. It looks fine. Right, I should probably sort this over to here. I came here for potions. There's also a bug exploit that you can do where, like, you buy something, and then you, like, switch your controls over to this, and it keeps that selected. So you'll be able to buy something else for the price of chocolate. And you'll be able to buy as many as he has chocolate units available. So I can buy 21 of those Thunder helmets and sell them back to him if I wanted. I keep talking too much. I'm trying to play while I'm talking. I swear. I bought a health potion.
Quests, things to kill, people to save. Oh, yes.
Hey!
Boss like dance. Right, so you see there's these cool quests that you actually can't ever do. These presumably get taken by other high-ranking heroes. And yeah, you can actually run into one of them who did one of these, I think. They were part of the DLC, though. Right, I did mention that there was DLC for the Anniversary Edition, which I have. I do think it's pretty scummy to sell additional content that you added in your remaster. Like, this was day one stuff, so I know it was in the game. This is the title vendor.
Following the gold markers on your map will lead you to your quest objective.
He sells titles. which is actually your character's name. You'll see my other guy was named Ranger.
Picnic area. Follow me. Hurry.
Your default name is Chicken Chaser. Iconic. This is the boasting platform. You can't actually take any boasts on this first quest. But essentially, you put restrictions on yourself, or say that you'll do something heroic. Like, I'll kill this many bandits. And if you pull through on it, you get extra money. And if you fail, then you lose the money that you bet on it. So that's kind of your main way to get extra cash. Silver keys, they're collectibles. You saw that big blue chest in the guild grounds. They all have legendary equipment in them. Almost all of them.
Oh, warrior, what did you do? Choke your enemies to death with your stench? Look at this filthy pile of rags. He really expects people to give him gold. Great. Try belching at him. It's just so funny.
Snotbag, you know nothing of the world. You too.
But before, you weren't actually allowed to hold the emotes. That's something that was added by 2 and 3.
I'm not putting up with this. There's plenty of other places to go. It's bullies like you that make old-timers' lives a misery.
He's laughing like an adult.
Nice one, mate. If you see anyone you don't like, it's always worth stopping to let them know. I'm sure you'll discover some great insults. Well, I can't hang around. I've got to ruin his life some more. Hey, Stinky, come back here.
Anyways, the silver keys, you mostly get them from doing side content. You really have to go out of your way for most of them. And a handful of them are locked behind bad choices. Part of why we're going for evil. Here's the picnic area. We're gonna fight the Wasp Queen. Wasps are fucking scary. These are like bees, but they're assholes, because they attack everything they fucking see. And they don't die when they sting you like normal bees do. And I believe their sting is actually strong enough to kill people, potentially. I'm talking about real life wasp. You didn't notice.
Thanks for saving us.
I didn't save you. Right, so there was like a cheap little web game for in between Fable 1 and 2 that sort of gave a story explanation of why heroes disappear. But essentially, that's the reason why. You've used our power. Everyone got tired and kind of got rid of the guild in the future. So heroes became extinct. And they don't really do a good job explaining it, but heroes aren't just like people who trained really hard. They all have blood running back to the old kingdom, which is why they can use magic, which is super rare later on. But these are actually like superhumans, demigods even. That's what it means to be a hero. It doesn't mean that you're a good guy, it just means that you have superpowers.
How's our world?
You've received a new quest card.
Right, so I talked about the renown system. You gain fame when you do quests. People will like they'll cheer when they see you once you become super famous. It helps make you a little more attractive offsetting whatever ugly things you decide to put on your character. It makes your emotions, your emotes, more effective. And I think it even gets you better prices at shops. That was a beard card. You have to collect cards to, like, be able to use haircuts at certain barbers. Otherwise, you have to pick from their selection, which can change, especially with traveling traders. There is a bounty system in the game, but it only takes effect while in towns, so anyone we see on the roads we can just murder for fun. That's kind of a big reason why the story went the way it did. Most people played an evil character because they could. There's a lot you can do with it. So, like, they were self-aware when they decided that all the heroes were abusing their power. Also, Peter Molyneux really likes evil characters, so he decided to make that, like, the canon. I think I'm supposed to head into Bowerstone. Bower means lion, I believe. So Lionstone, Liontown, made by Lionhead Studios. This is like the iconic London town. It's in every game. You can see the whole world changes, but Bowerstone's always here as the capital.
Oi! You're new here, aren't you? We have some rules round here that you need to know about.
My dad.
Bowerstone is a peaceful town. I'll have to confiscate your weapons for now. There are shops, inns, lots of different people, games, all kinds of things. Why not pay the tavern a visit first? It's the building in front of you, just up the road from here. Oh, and keep an eye open for Lady Grey. Treat her with respect. She is the mayor, after all. Have a look around and enjoy your stay in Bowerstone.
Please obey the law while you're here.
My dad couldn't find his phone, he needed me to call it. Alright, so you saw he took my weapons away. Bowerstone's kinda the most well-guarded town in the game. The guards are using obsidian swords, which are like second highest tier.
Can I interest you in something? How's it going?
There it is. There's a key up there in the balcony. Is the armor shop? Now, you see in Oblivion, when you go into crouch mode, there's that eyeball that shows up in the center of your screen. That eye is kind of always up in the top left of my map. So it closes and people can kind of see you, which means if you steal something while in the sneak stance, you'll be good. But if it's wide open, that's how many people can clearly see you.
Obey the law. Over here.
I want a beer, please.
Been enjoying all the attention, have you? Yes. I heard about your encounter with the Wasp Queen. Most of Bowerstone is talking about it. But, you shouldn't let that kind of thing go to your head. Anyway, that's not why I called you here. You see, there are dark forces gathering that put your giant insect to shame. Tell me, how much do you remember of the night I took you to the guild? of the raid on Oakvale. Not much, I wager. A most terrible night. I thought those bandits had killed your whole family, and that you were going to be next. But it seems there may have been another survivor. Your sister. I'm afraid it's only a rumor, and there's no way to be certain yet, but I thought you should know. And for pity's sake, boy, make sure you replace that basic equipment while you're here.
I don't really have the money to do that. I think you can maybe buy a steel weapon.
For more quests.
What's he doing here, I wonder?
Follow me!
Okay, ugly little girl.
Chicken chaser?
Stay within the law.
Sky is...
Oh, woe is me. My son is poorly. It's me boy. My poor little boy. We were on a picnic at Lookout Point when he found these strange mushrooms. The witch in Bowerstone Key says we shouldn't worry, but she needs more of the mushrooms before she can cure him. I would find them myself, but I need to look after Aldi. Please, could you help us?
This is a very long side quest. You have to collect, like, 5 magical mushrooms, and yes, they are that kind of magic mushroom. Fuck. We're good. I didn't mean to do that. So, I have to get about halfway through the game, maybe. Somewhere in Oakvale, I think, is where the last one is located. It takes a while to get done. Means I'm not really going to worry too much about it right now. Time's actually passing really fast, so I'm gonna go back to the weapon shop, which is out in the open. Kind of nice for a forge, don't you think?
You've come to the right place.
The bow. U is the basic material, or is it oak? Plus 30. U. This is the one I'm using, okay. So oak is stronger. They're all very clearly split up into tiers. U, oak, ebony, and master, I believe they are. And for the weapons, it's iron, steel, obsidian, and master again. The thing about master weapons is they're really expensive, but they also have more enchant slots on them than any other tier. Which means if you slot them up correctly, they can be comparable to the legendary weapons. I want to sell these. The iron katana. And the iron crossbow. The U crossbow. I'll sell the U bow too, why not? Because I'm about to get a new one. I did say I was going to explain why I'm not using the katana. It's actually slightly heavier than the longsword, and because we're not upgrading our strength, we can't really use heavy weapons easily. Another cool thing about the character morphing, if you try to use a weapon that's heavier than what your strength can handle, you will swing it super slow. Like, there are two-handed weapons in the game that you won't be able to even use until you have, like, 3 strength or so. Maybe even 4. I mean, you can use them, but you'll, like, one-hand them and swing like a dumbass.
My cousin says Orchard Farm's got some weird goings on. What's happening? A hero.
So, in a way, the strength parameter also increases your attack speed ever so slightly. It doesn't really increase it after you've meeting the strength check. Met. It is met. But it helps just a little. See, this is a house I can buy. See, the marriage system isn't super great in this game. You get a dowry when you get married, so there's that, I guess. But, I don't know, you can't really have a whole family. Like, they haven't expanded on it as much as they should have. They do in the later games, but for now, our homes are basically just going to be used for collecting money, because you can rent them out. The thing is, there's only one house you can buy in each town. However, if you manage to, one, lead someone out of town who happens to be a homeowner, their house becomes available for sale. That works for shops too, or you can murder them.
I don't get it.
And that whole mechanic is never really explained to you. The leading them out of town thing's kind of an exploit, actually. But that's the only way you can buy more than just the 4 houses. 4 or 5. I don't know. School's out, so I can't turn that quest. I spent too much time talking. I don't know if there's anything out with the key. Yes, it is pronounced key, not quay. There's the witch. We need to bring her to the mushrooms.
No, don't tell me. You were sent here by an irritating young lady. The one with the comatose kid. Don't look so surprised. I am a witch, you know. I read tea leaves on Thursdays. Besides, you're not the first fool she sent my way. Find me 4 blue mushrooms, and I can brew up an antidote. But there's no hurry. The stuff won't kill him.
And he's just high.
The little tyke's probably having the time of his life.
So this side quest was actually added by the DLC as well. I believe the rewards a silver key. You'd think they just put them all around the DLC area, but no. They kind of just weave them throughout the game. It's pretty hard to tell what was actually added and what wasn't. Oh, here, so I can smash these up. Maybe get something. Health potion, hell yeah. This ring is for the Fist Fighters Guild. They show up sometime in the middle of the night. We definitely won't want to take that on until we've leveled up our strength some more. Because I think you can die in the ring. It's more so about landing hits than actually doing damage, but still it helps to be strong. This guy's an asshole. He wants us to go spend our money, which we don't really want to do right now. We'll take care of him later. Nice. Running start. You actually kick the chickens farther based on your strength stat, but running start helps. This whole map was also like redone. Like those moving wasp and stuff weren't there originally. It was just a flat, unanimated map.
Who's he?
There's a barber. We're gonna stick with our youngster haircut for now, though, because everyone's gonna laugh at you no matter what you're wearing. Because you do look ridiculous with being a short, skinny man with a beard.
Ah, there is an important quest card at the guild for you.
Teleporter is how you fast travel. They're very sparse. They're kind of at landmark areas. Just like the animated pictures at landmarks. They tell you exactly what you did there, which is neat. Takes us right back to the guild. We can only teleport to these, but we have a guild seal on us, which we can use to teleport to them at any time.
Looks promising. Oh, hello. You must be the kid Maze is always talking about. Can't imagine what he sees in you. Still, I suppose Maze knows best. But where are my manners? I'm Briar Rose. No doubt you've heard of me. No time for autographs, I'm afraid. I have to get to Knothole Glade for an important mission. Speaking of which, if you came for a quest card, all the best ones have gone already. I'm sure the guild can find you something to do, though. I hear the kitchens need cleaning.
There. She's another DLC character. She took on the minion summoning one. She went to Not Glade. Which, well, we can't really see because our map isn't revealed, but it was over there. She's also sort of a minion specialist. So here's the first basic choice. Doesn't really matter what you pick. You gotta protect Orchard Farm or you can attack it. It's kind of weird that you buddy up with the bandits at certain points because bandits are always hostile towards you. They're... I guess not. Now, here we go. I was looking for a prompt to tell me that I can boast. We're still early in the game, so our stats don't matter a ton. Means taking whatever boast is just going to help us for the time being. This one's pretty difficult to do. I'm actually going to compare what our rewards are for these. Fist fighter, don't use weapons. There, it tells you it requires the traditional scheme because it's broken. I'd rather do this because get 100 more gold. So I'm gonna use my bow only for magic. No healing, easy because I'm staying back. This one's simple enough, and we're getting enough from the other bows, even if we fail it. You actually you get a bigger audience based on your we're looking for fame. It's on your fame. I'm actually gonna head in here real quick because I forgot about the demon door. It's actually pretty easy to open. It says like your path is dark and only light can make it through. You'd think he's talking about your morality, but he's actually just talking about literal light. So part of that adventuring kit was a lantern. Now when you hold right trigger, your D-pad turns into additional hotkeys, which I think you can bind spells to, but it's mostly for emotes. Otherwise, you have a situational wheel here, and you can also press up to go into a quick menu. Which none of these were in the base game, so it's all good things.
Have a good stay.
Even the whole character selection thing wasn't originally there. You actually had to make save files and remember whose was whose. Okay, so you see the game's pretty bright. There's really no reason to use the lantern, but you do have a lantern. I think it's under other. My D-pad's a little finicky, so it's hard to do this. I should probably just use the stick. Here's the lamp. So you toggle it on and off.
Your path is illuminated. Fancy that. You worked it out.
There's not really a whole lot of emotes I would bind, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and set that up as one of my hotkeys, actually. I think I might have to do it from the quick menu. Trying to up because I never want to give my money to anybody. The money is kind of like a gift. It'll make people like you more, but it doesn't do as much as an actual gift. I guess there's no thought put into it. I don't know. It's really something you never want to use. This is an easy door to open, though it has a pretty low quality chest. I believe it's a health upgrade potion. Yeah, increases your max health, which is a good thing. It also works as a normal health potion, so I guess we'll save it for the time being. A handful of those are good to have. I thought there was a fishing spot in here. It doesn't look like there is. And this water looks like soap. Kinda all of these are just like little serene areas. They went with more of an Easter egg approach in the later games. They're a lot cooler then. I don't know. They're okay. I like demon doors. I did say the game was pretty generous at giving you equipment. Along the way to Orchard Farm, we're gonna make a stop at the Fisher's Lake. Fisherman Creek, whatever it's called. Where you can pick up some leather gloves for free. You can get most of the leather set for free, actually. Same goes for the chainmail set. Doesn't look nearly as cool as the Ranger armor, which I'll probably buy. I doubt I have the experience to buy anything really, but oh, look. Buy level 2 speed, alright. And get accuracy too. I have literally 2 experience in my will.
How may I help you today?
Oh, he's that chicken chaser. Look at him go.
Hey.
These guys want you to escort them somewhere, I think, or... No, they're high. It has to do with the mushrooms. I don't want to take care of those. I think a handful of them require to use the fishing rod, which I obviously don't have. I'm not going to worry about it yet. Fisher's Creek is nearby. It's in, like, the next area.
Some work down at Orchard Farm, are you? I knew that was your true calling. Tell you what, I'm going to pick up the other side of this little quest and teach you how to choose better friends. I hope you've been practicing. You'll need all the experience you can get to beat me. See you later, farm boy.
Alright, so she's sort of your rival whenever there's a quest with multiple choices like that. So it kind of creates a nice dynamic. She's always, like, either the good or the bad guy compared to you.
Good riddance.
Of course, she's just doing it because she can.
Easy as that.
Again, that's the issue with heroes. This guy's a trader? Not all of them actually have stuff to sell, but some of them do. And, some of them have what are called trade items. They're literally just like kegs of apple juice or whatever. If you buy them and run them to another town, you actually do make a profit. A mechanic I never really explored as a kid. So there was that statue in the courtyard out there. It rotates based on the time of day. If it's pointing over here, there will be another chest in that spot there. And if it's pointing at Bowerstone, that cellar door will be open. I don't think there's anything too useful in either of the things. I think this one over here has a rune in it. I don't know, they're useful enough early game items. It's kind of a pain in the ass to wait for the statue to rotate, though. You have to be quick, too, because it locks in once you're in an area. You can't wait for the time to show up. You have to be in the statue courtyard place when it happens. More health potions. I don't think there's really a limit on how many you can hold. The mana upgrade. This area is normally full of bandits, but right now it's only Wasp. So the whole world kind of scales up with its enemies as you progress through the story. But if we were in the heroic mode, this would all be like the highest tier bandits, and there'd be a lot of them. And because of the combat multiplier, it, you know, they take a lot of hits, it makes you gain experience quickly, but they're also kind of just sponges, which is a huge pain in the ass. Let's see. One of these leads to the lake, which is where we would have gone if we took the good guy's side. Yeah. The path it's telling us to go is like a shortcut to Orchard Farm, which is blocked by bandits if you've done the good guy's side. This one's the Fisher Creek.
Help! Help me! They're everywhere! I can't get out!
One of the cool things about bandits is that they actually use like a human character morph, so as you progress through the game, they actually become like taller and buffer.
Oh, thank you, young lad. I ain't cast me line for so long I got me the shakes. Been eating bait worms all week.
Couldn't have come at a worse time either. I've got me a fishing competition to organise. I tell you what, I'll give you free entry to the competition. Least I could do.
You'll be needing this here fishing rod. Made it myself. All you need to do is cast your rod over one of them ripples there.
Alright, so we got our rod for free now. Completing this side quest will get us the Master Fishing Rod, which makes fishing a lot easier. And it's not the craziest hard quest to complete. There's actually like one fishing spot in like the middle of the game where you're guaranteed to get a fish big enough to win. And here we go. Yeah, the context menu wants to a fishing rod because we're near a thing. Still a little finicky though. Yeah, this is actually like pretty painful to do with a mouse. You just spam the button to reel in. And when the fish is swimming away, you can keep going, but that'll put stress on the line. So sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad to keep doing it. And there will be times where the fish just goes for the longest time, because I think it's completely random. So it can drag it from the freaking from the end to the other end. And you'll just have to wait it out and feel horrible. The amount of fight they put up is kind of based off how good the treasure you're getting is. But it's also just kind of random. Luckily, there's no chance to get, like, actual junk. The worst thing you can get from one of these is a fish, which you can eat. So eating has an effect on your character morph, too. Eating healthy things and pies and shit will make you either fat or skinny. And that'll go down as you run or eat healthy things. There's actually a demon door that we have to open by being fat. So I'm not gonna try and save most of my food for him. addition to that, your character ages. And by the time your character is about 60, your strength stat falls by like 1 level. It's kind of shitty. But there are shrines for both alignments. You can either pay money or sacrifice a person to get youth. So it's basically a hip replacement. You'll see time passes like crazy fast in this game. By the time we're at the end, our character will be like a couple 100 years old. It's lore friendly though. It fits in with the idea that heroes are demigods. The dad stash. I might actually rock that one for a little bit. I think that the mutton chops look really good, but might go with the stash for just a little. One of these is like a golden fish. Will get us like entry to the competition, I guess. Probably this one right here. It's also a trophy, which you can show off for fame. Or you can also put it in your houses to increase the rent, which is kind of scummy. But it's probably some kind of political commentary, I don't know. I think to most people a house is just a house, but like property value is a very real thing that increases the taxes you pay to the government. So if a landlord has a really nice house, they get to charge high rent.
Great pike, my lad. That's a hill of a catch.
You should come back here later. I'm reviving the great old fishing competition.
There's plenty more fishing spots round here, if the mood takes you.
So he's a quest giver, which means I can't actually kill him. But I believe once the quest is complete, he does become killable. He gets to live for now. But his days are numbered.
That's a bad one finished.
Now, with our karma, the first thing you'll notice is our hair turns black. It was brown at the start, but it's getting darker. It turns blonde if you're good. And, so yeah, I believe it also affects your eye color, your skin tone. You get a little paler if you're evil. Your character just looks like happy and healthy when you're good, pretty much. And when you're at the max, you get a halo, and like butterflies, blue eyes. You just look like a really happy man.
He didn't last long.
But the bad guy turns pale, eyes turn red, he gets like burns on him. He grows demon horns eventually, which your hair recedes before then to make room for him. Kinda makes you bald, so most people end up shaving their head. Some of the hairstyles look kind of cool with the balding, actually, but
I'm pleased to serve you.
most people just go with the bald. Not gonna lie, Griffin's pretty badass. Superman tattoo. Fire Monkey. A lot of these are actually things added by the DLC. You know what? They're cheap. I'll buy that. Those are like bones. It's pretty cool. Yeah, their tattoos reflect knowledge of the body's inner workings. It's supposed to be like a scary thing. I know exactly where your bones are, mate. I think I'll get this one too. And I want that griffin. Speaking of tattoos, the Xbox 360 was backwards compatible, but it wasn't perfect, so when I tried to put my Xbox Fable disc into my 360, my character ended up with some weird bugs where, like, let me see the armor menu real quick. See, if I take my pants off, you see I have Union Jack underwear. My guy had, like, a Union Jack on his hair layer, so he kind of had, like, a headband on at all times. And he also had, like, one of the murals from the guild hall, like, you know, the story cutscene things, on his back, which looked pretty fucking sweet. The issue was I couldn't remove them. These Wasp are kind of chump change, but they're worth something right now, which is why I'm going on my way to kill them. You also notice you get good karma every time you kill something. I mean, you are doing the world a favor, but I don't know. You really have to, like, be chaotic if you want to maintain your evil status.
There you are. You ready for a bit of violence? The farm's just behind this gate. Mob's here is going to blow it in a moment. We're after some crates the farmer's got stored in his barn. Don't know what's in them, and I don't much care. We're just paid to do a job, so don't go asking questions. Just lead us to those crates, and we'll grab them. All right, mobs, let's do it.
Mobs?
Come on, let's go. Cover me while I get the crate.
These guards are all weaker than normal guards. They're using iron equipment. They're pretty much bandits wearing guard clothing. Remember, I took a boast to not get hit, so that was a little sketchy when he was waiting with the crossbow.
I'll get the crate.
This quest seems kind of irrelevant, but this is actually related to the bigger story plot, which comes in very late in the game. A lot of these more mundane quests actually have connections to it. You just have to wait for it all to come together. And right now, you don't think that there's be any story except maybe getting revenge, right? Swear I saw a guardsman, yeah.
I'll get the crate.
See those head symbols? There's like 5 or 6 guys I have to spare if one of them dies. But I'm kind of wrecking these guards. I bought a nice bow.
Lead the way.
Another thing about the heroic difficulty, it only affects stuff outside of quest. With the scaling, all the quests will still be a fair difficulty, which I guess is a good thing, but it also creates a big inconsistency where you're fighting the highest level bandits just before coming here, and then you're fighting normal bandits when you're here.
You're now renowned enough to use the sneer expression. You have reached unsullied status.
Quests would be a lot more difficult if the guards just kept coming, but it's really just do the same thing 3 times. It's quick, though. Griffin looks pretty fly. I thought it was a back tattoo, though, so I'm a little sad about that.
So, you've learned some new moves, have you? Well, you're not the only one. I hope you've learned how to flourish, because that's the only way you're going to get close to me. Go on, try to hit me with a flourish.
Yeah, it's weird that you took a combat tutorial and they didn't tell you about this, even though you could do it.
So you can do it.
That sound. She makes it every time you knock her down, and like she blocks frequently, so you're gonna hear it a lot. Oh boy. Kind of sketched out. I still think I can get hit.
Damn! You beat me again! I suppose this quest is yours then. But you can't stay lucky forever, farm boy. We're bound to meet again, and I'll be ready.
Please, let us go. You've got the boxes, there's nothing else. Just leave us be.
I think with the original character model, the Union Jack was like your entire underwear. You didn't have like that stitching on your crotch or anything. When you see doors like that, they can't be broken. Like there's nothing inside this house. I can break the windows, but there's no way to really get in there. Full walls, gotta love them. I need to be further away. There's a grave over here. There's a shovel I can buy. You don't get it till very late in the game when you actually need it, but there's a lot of treasure you can dig up. It's kind of like a fishing rod in that respect. Speaking of which, I think there's another health upgrade in this one. See that scarring I have around my shoulders already? Like stretch marks. That might be as a result of the lightning. Or it could be the accuracy. So I'm like pulling my bowstring a lot. There's also a chest up here, and maybe another fishing spot. And free apples. Apples are nice. I love apples. Oh boy. Treasure clue. My hands are already going evil. That's nuts.
Rumors
I did that much.
item of value lies hidden somewhere in Albion. The clues should lead you to it. I understand there are 6.
Thought this didn't happen until much later. Oh, it is just flashing. Maybe it's not completely corrupt. The speaking of the morphs, they actually added a second meter in the second game called, like, your purity/corruption meter in addition to your good and evil, which made your characters look even more diverse. One was basically, like, how indulgent you were/greedy. And the other one was good or chaotic, essentially. I thought it was a good thing, because, you know, there are various levels of evil. Lawful and chaotic, you know. Some people would argue that the chaotic evil person isn't even evil, he's just a fucking dickhead. But when you're willingly selfish and ruining people's lives, then you're really evil. Someone's putting up a fight. Say, I don't really talk about anime that often. I think I did once. But semi-recently I got into the Bird Magical Index show completely by accident. I started with the Accelerator, which appeared, I don't know, like 2 anime seasons ago. And I had no idea it was a part of a bigger thing. I don't know, the show's alright, I'm enjoying it. I went through all of what was available at the time. I brought it up just to talk about Accelerator, though. He's an example of, the lawful evil character. A lot of Season 3 of Index was like half Accelerator show. It was crazy, they completely ignored the protagonist. But, yeah, he's a really cool character. Wanted to give him a shout out, I guess. Obviously, I don't want to spoil the show, like, go watch it, I guess. It starts off kind of slow, I guess. Like, it's still enjoyable during the slow parts, but it definitely does pick up its pace for the second and third seasons. And then the one spin-off series, Railgun. Definitely more of a girl show, but it's also slower paced, more like the first season. Some people like it better, I don't know. It's still enjoyable. Again, I don't talk about it much because I don't know a ton about it, I guess. I've only been into it for about 5 years now. I started watching it casually when I was like 16. Or, I guess that's not entirely true. Obviously, I watched Naruto when I was a kid, but that's just because it was on TV and ninjas are cool. Actually, not a huge fan of Naruto. I hate the shonen trope. 5 episodes of fight, listen to a guy's whole backstory. I really wish they just got it all out of the way beforehand.
There is an important quest card at the guild for you.
Right. One of the issues people might have with this is that the guildmaster has a freaking microphone attached to at all times through the guild seal. And boy does he like to talk. Basically, until you've beaten the game, he's always going to tell you that you have important quests to do. And if your health's ever low, he's going to be pestering you to heal yourself. He doesn't really do it so much for the mana, though, because it regenerates on its own. So it's a little frustrating at times. I've heard it so much that it's just like a joke to me now, though.
You're sure to find something to suit you.
Remove tattoos after I just paid my money for them? These are another thing that make you look scary, or because I'm scrawny, that make me look ugly and laughable. So people are probably going to start laughing at me when I walk into town.
Stuff stolen. Weird devices they. Hey, get off!
Damn it, I thought I had enough. Wait, there's one right up there, actually. So, as I was saying, I don't talk about anime because I don't know a lot about it. Very similar to talking about music with someone. You're very likely to run into someone who tells you the shows that you like are trash, and that they hate you and your opinions. And, like, you know, there's a very fine line between an enthusiast and someone who just casually enjoys stuff. So I'd rather stay out of that community. I think people are a lot more accepting of hot takes on video games. Maybe because of the input required by the person interacting with it, maybe. Like, some people don't like the way shooters feel, and that's acceptable. But when you're watching or listening to something, you're not doing anything. You just either enjoy it or you don't. I don't know why I walked all the way over here. I want that chest. Got a handful of those now. I'll drink them before the next quest, I think. It's what I think. Which, yeah, it has to be. Yeah, I think the game might have bugged a bit. I think that's one of the late game emotes you get for being evil. Oh well. Alright, so I talked about a mod earlier that did rebalancing. There's never been a lot of mods for Fable because you can't really add new content. You can only change existing stuff. If you want to add a new area, you have to edit an existing area. Same goes for quest and weapons. They were going to add like official mod support for this version, but they kind of crapped out, and then Lionhead got liquidated.
With combat multipliers.
Do I have any of those potions? Wouldn't it maybe a stats skills book? I guess it's under equipment, I don't know. No, I don't. There'll be like an Ages of potion that you drink for experience. Use that with the multiplier. What was I saying? I don't remember. Right, mods. That's what I was saying. What they did put out was the ability to easily swap out models for characters and animations. The animation thing is actually pretty huge, but no one's really taken advantage of it. There's one that lets you play as Jack of Blades, one of the antagonists, and another one that swaps the player character with Wario and Waluigi, and a couple for Team Fortress 2 characters. That's like all there is available. It's really saddening. And there was never really anything too cool for the original game either, sadly. Not that I know of anyways. But the DLC items are kind of funny in some respects. Like, you can get Minecraft hats. They're almost like mods.
Oh, are you talking to me? You know, sound waves can make your head spin into the sun. I've seen it happen, man.
Damn, bro.
If only I hadn't lost my mushroom of truth in the guild, I'd be able to show you. Well.
What's our time like? 2.5 hours, yeah. Sounds about right. I guess I'm gonna do more fishing. God. We're in the part of digestion where I keep burping. Happens every time I eat. Guess I digested slowly today, though. It's normally over before I start streaming. There's one of them. Wish I still had that multiplier. On the path we're going to take to the next quest, there's actually a demon door that wants us to have like a multiplier 15 or so to open. Which sounds like it's not a big deal because it isn't, but it's difficult to actually get to him with that multiplier because there's no enemies in the area that he's in.
It's not working. Why isn't it working, strange looking man? Look, I ate the mushroom, innit? They all said I'd laugh my knickers off if I ate it, and I, totally did. And, I'm not. So far, it's a big 0 of chuckles. Can you make me laugh? Come on. Innit, please?
Leave me alone.
So she's using a Welsh accent, which is kind of a joke among the British, I guess. Because they do talk like that.
You're a walking joke.
You call that a laugh? Let's do it again.
Make me laugh, why don't you?
That was hilarious.
You're a walking joke.
Oh, it's just...
I think her hair is actually supposed to be white.
Here, take this. You're like the funniest thing ever.
Ugh. That voice.
Wasting your time.
Call yourself a hero? Hey, are you threatening me?
There you go. That, basically a summary of the Joker movie. Does a dance, kills the man. Now it's done. Oh, and he laughed a lot. Show them to laugh at me. Bastards. Oh, this is a real guardsman. He's gonna take a few hits. It's weird that his crossbow is actually a lower tier than his sword. Yeah, it was like 1,000 experience multiplied by 10. So I got 10,000. It gives me a handful of levels. Also put some clothes on, yeah. Like, my man's a bit of a twink, innit? The British Union's been around long enough for it to not really be a thing more than a joke, but it's kind of political tension in a way. Is what? It's Britannian, Wales, Scotland. I think that's it. They're all one nation. But obviously, Britannia's the one that won. I guess they get bragging rights. You also noticed I grew horns over that loading screen. Doesn't happen in real time. Don't know why. I think it used to. But my hair is starting to recede a bit. It actually doesn't look too bad right now. There'll be a point where we're at like the hair loss level that I have. I think that actually has halted since I started the medication, which has also helped with the asthma a lot, which is why I took it, of course.
Hey. Why don't you get back where you belong?
Still isn't really regrowing, but like, I don't think I'm at an embarrassing amount of balding quite yet. Like, I just look like I'm a little older. Oh, it's fine by me.
Nasty piece of work.
Right, he said he lost a mushroom in the guild. I believe it's that fishing spot in the guild woods. That's where we're gonna head right now. I don't think I'm gonna have time to do the next quest, so I'm just doing some loose ends. Probably make a stop at Bowerstone or something.
Hey, hi, look, could you do me a massive favour? My name's Cyril. Me and some friends had a little party here the other night, and I met this drop-dead gorgeous girl from Oakvale. Oh, Myra. I mean, she was a stunner. At least I think she was. But I also thought the trees around us were running around on little chocolate legs, if you see what I mean. Anyway, I really want to see her again. Well, probably. I mean, maybe it was just the mushrooms and she's actually just an ugly stick victim. Even if she isn't, what if she doesn't like me? I'm going to take my chances all the same. Please, take this letter to her in Oakvale. I must know how she feels. The suspense is killing me. Oh, one more thing. Don't try to pass the letter off as your own. I've spent weeks perfecting its sublime poetry.
I don't know why my horns are actually, like, red and glowy. That might have something to do with the way we're doing our character. Because they're supposed to look like bones. Like, you know, normal horns. I think there's actually a fishing spot here. That guy is related to one of the mushrooms as well. You didn't figure it out. For the most part, the dig spots are all very obvious. I think there's maybe one around here that's, like, actually hidden. There'll usually be, like, a circle of flowers or something around it. There'll be a grave spot. I didn't talk about the treasure clue I picked up. It was number 5, which I think is the last one. I think the guildmaster told us there was a number of them. Essentially, there's a secret weapon called the frying pan you can pick up. And yes, it is a frying pan. It's essentially a two-handed mace. And I know exactly where it is because, you know, I played this game a lot. But if you try to pick it up without all the treasure clues, which lead you to it,
there is an important quest card at the guild for you.
it will be weaker. Essentially, each treasure clue upgrades the tier that it's at when you dig it up. And it also adds enchantment slots, which I believe it has the most enchantment slots in the game, even though it's an otherwise mundane weapon. And yeah, Fable did do it before PUBG. Suck my ass, Tencent, or whoever published it. In fact, LEGO Lord of the Rings did it too. Maybe even the other Lord of the Rings games. Sam, he's like known for using a frying pan. This one might be the mushroom then. Yeah. So I have 3 of them now. I guess you can collect 5. The woman said she only wanted 4. Which, yeah. I have 3, I think. Maybe I'm miscounting. That green dot is moving around like a tour guide. He never actually has anything to say, even though he's green. I don't know why that is. Hob killing contest. This is one that doesn't actually scale with the hero mode. You actually fight the hardest hobs in the game when you try to do this. Right now, I don't think I can really handle them either. Which, the side quests go away eventually, I think. When you've, like, out-leveled them. So, I'll probably tackle it after doing the trader escort. The Hob Cave I'm not renowned enough to do yet. Hold on. Gonna spend our skill points before we get teleported out to the boasting platform. So, see. If I remember correctly, we're going to run to Hobbs, a Troll, and Valverines. Valverines are pretty tough, and the Troll is basically only killable with a bow or magic. You can do it with melee, but you'll get hurt very quickly. So, yeah, I guess accuracy is our priority. 5 levels of it. On speed or guile. I guess I can have both. Why not? Nice. I think I have enough for a spell too. Not that I've been using my magic at all. This one's alright. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it pretty much always knocks over anyone you collide with. This one's expensive, which is what I'm saving up for. These two are like functionally the same spell. They were added by the DLC. And like, you know, it looks like something a good and evil guy would do, but I don't really think it affects it. Maybe it does more damage based on your alignment. I know the one spell, which one? Tourniquet? No. Yeah, there you go. Only an evil can master the spell. Seems some spells can only be leveled up by your alignment. Drain Life is another one of those. It looks like even owning it boosts your alignment, or maybe the modifier memes your alignment has that effect on it. I don't know. Summon summons the last enemy you killed, which means it kind of scales naturally. Physical shield's good because it protects your combat multiplier. Only the virtuous can master it, though. Your mana doesn't regenerate while you have it active, though, which is kind of shitty. There's a bug associated with this one, where if you save and go to the main menu while in Berserk mode, you'll stay buff when you load back in. You won't be strong, but your character will look huge. This one's useful because it gets you around blocks. It's alright, you basically trade health for mana for health. Never used this one, I might give it a try. This is essential. In fact, I'll buy it now. And this one's just your mana meter. And Force Push is alright, I forgot to mention that. You can't knock guys off ledges though, so it kind of ruins the whole purpose of it. It makes an awesome sound though.
You're now stealthy enough to use the steal expression.
I'm gonna take this, but we're not actually gonna do it in this session. I'm just gonna make a stop at Power Stone before we're done. Oh!
Tell us about it. Come on, tell us. Yay! Yes!
No protection, why not? Without a scratch, that's not happening, even if it is a huge reward. Protect the traders.
Tell us more about it. Yay!
Wonderful.
No, that one's usually a trap. Nah. I'm not gonna bet it. So, let's see. Pretty much right when you start the crest, you run into a guy who's been scratched by a Balverine, which means he's going to turn into a werewolf at some point. And they tell you not to bring him with you, but if you do bring him with you and you're fast, you can get some extra money. However, if you don't beat the time limit, which is pretty damn strict, he turns into a Balverine, and that counts as one of the traders dying, which makes that boast fail, and it's pretty shitty. There's also the Chapel of Scorn along the way, which I can make a sacrifice at if I so chose with one of the traders. See, I believe if you sacrifice your wife at midnight, you get the legendary weapon from them as well. Which is a special bow, which means I want it. Means we have to get married at one point. Wish sneak was a toggle. Probably a setting for that, actually. Gameplay options. Oh, nice. Good up, Guildmaster. Yeah, I don't think I can toggle snake. Oh well. I see you, guard boy. I'm getting out of here. You Johnny Law. Jonathan Bain. I see you. Moving down them stairs. I see you backing into a corner. Think you tough, huh? Think you bigger than me? You're not, because I invested in my freaking skill. I'm tall, bro. I'm like a college basketball player, at least.
Beer, if you would.
It's Briar Rose.
I see they're letting the children out of the guild early these days.
I'm taller than you.
You're not going to start chanting my name with the rest of these simpletons, are you? Honestly, you complete a quest, start showing your trophy, and next thing you know, you can't get a moment's peace. I mean, just listen to them. At least you don't have to worry about high renown and being followed everywhere. Now, move aside, will you? I don't need you crowding me too.
You're showing off all your trophies. Yet you're complaining about it. It's true though, later in the game, people won't leave you alone. Makes stealing stuff pretty difficult. Which actually makes having a scary appearance useful in that respect. You can use it to offset your fame for a while.
A beer would be nice.
Come on, we can do this. This is a pub game. And, yeah, I think you collect hero dolls from doing it, and collecting all of them is worth a key at some point, I believe. This one is a memory game, maybe? Or the coin golf? No, it's memory.
Rubbish. Beer, please. A beer would be nice. Oh, beer would be nice.
I don't like him.
A drink for me, please. Leave me alone.
I think I might have to make a bigger bet.
What a burk.
You're a Burke. Alright, in Fallout 3, you remember the guy in the bar in Megaton who wanted you to blow the place up? His name was Mr. Burke. It was a pun. It was a 9, right? No. F. Actually made a big bet on this, so I'm a little scared. And 5, 7, 6, queen.
Get away with you! Ooh.
Is this a 6?
Not this twerp.
Gah! Let's try this again. Six, 4, queen, king, 7, 2, king, 7, ace was one of these. I'm gonna lose. And saying these out loud isn't actually helping me. It might actually confuse me a bit more. This is a 10. One of these was a king, a queen, 7, 3, was that this? Ace, 7. Hit. Ah! I fucked up. I swear to God, the timer's counting down faster with the bigger bet. This was a 4. It's a king. Yeah, you can actually lose a lot of time to these. I was undersold the mini games at the time, but I'm sure somebody likes it. Around the Xbox Arcade, you can actually buy like a pack of all the pub games in Fable 2. Like just the pub games. I think I found the 10 somewhere. Ah! Losing so much money. I want to be able to buy the house and rent it out, at least, so if I lose one more time, I'm gonna go take care of that. Was this the 10? No, it was this one. 7. 6. 8. 7. 7? 8, 7, 7. This was an 8. No!
Play card pairs.
Gosh darn. Some of it's my memory. In fact, most of it is, but some of it's just navigation. Probably be easier to do with a mouse. There. How much money I have left? Not enough. See, now I own it, I can actually sell it if I wanted. But I wouldn't really make a profit doing so. However, if I sell it with one of my trophies in it, I do. So the trick is to buy it, put a trophy in here, and then break in and steal it so you can buy it for less than it was worth with the trophy, and repeat. I don't think I've upgraded enough to have a trophy room, though. I think there's only one or two. It's supposed to be like right here. So I'll just rent it out for now. So how much money I got? 100. It's enough for one more bet.
You smell of weed.
That was a home run right there. Okay, tavern. Give this one more shot. This one the jack, jeez.
Get away with you.
Play card
This
pairs. Thank you.
Just another fool.
Maybe I have to win a certain amount with them. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into it, but I did end up making some of that money back. I lost like 500. Oh well, I have enough for a haircut. So this is what was on the cover art, which I have the box case for PC. Like folds open, it looks really cool. That's why it's called the normal one. It's also what is on the character doll for you. I think this one looks really good once you're old. That's a good guy anyways. The bald, I'm looking for the dad stash. And, I don't think the buzz looks terrible when you're young, but it's also very ugly, so people are gonna keep laughing at me.
Things have gone missing from Orchard Farm, I've heard.
See how much hair I'm losing. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I wonder if I can go back to the youngster.
Things have gone missing from
Nah.
Orchard Farm, I've heard.
Well, this is our life now. We look ridiculous. I love it.
Get away from me.
What? Oh, hello.
Mr. Gout. As Gout.
Mr. Gout, the headmaster of the school. Not that it's much of a school these days, the way Lady Can you believe she sold half our library? As if mansions were more important than the education of our children. Anyway, if you could donate any suitable books you find on your travel...
Yeah, you can donate books to him. He'll read some of them out loud. Only certain books. Some of the more, like, lore-intensive ones don't get read. But, doing so, he'll give you the wizard hat, and depending on how many not suitable for school books you've given him, he'll give you an evil wizard hat or a good one. There's only one of them in the game, like, you can't buy it elsewhere. That was another thing added by, the Lost Chapters.
Get away from me.
Out!
He's almost pointing at the right area. I think I might have had to interact with it at the right time. Oh well. Probably past now.
Simple when you know how. Easy.
Alright, well, since that fell through, I guess we're all good. I can't save over the autosave or the checkpoint. Checkpoints happen at, like, intervals in the quest, so it always knows where to, send you back if you fail. Actually a pretty genius system. Like, it just loads a save, it doesn't do any extra logging. Anyways, I guess that's all we've got time for today. And, yeah, just playing this makes me happy. Always does. I'll try to be back on soonish. Maybe Friday. Yeah. That's all I've got. I'll see y'all then.